Okay, so what I've been doing is I've been going over some of my treatments for the concepts that I have, the 32, 34 concepts, somewhere around there that I have, and I'm reviewing all of them for my YouTube channel. Back to that. I just got done discussing Seven Wonders, and now I'm going to go into Baby and the Holy City. This is a story that I've had on my mind for a long time, and I thought was really good. And the general concept is that it's about a Pegasus who stops a battle in Jerusalem, over Jerusalem, between Arabs and Christians who will the sword in the name of Jesus. Of course, that's ridiculous, but that's what the Crusades were, and there's no getting around that. And so this is happening during the Crusades. This is happening during that time. And let me go ahead and switch over to the treatment here, and I call it the tag, which is the initial. A couple of sentences that kind of describe it, and then I write out kind of a treatment that kind of talks about it. And I have a lot of dialogue. I have a lot of script for this, so I'm just going to cover the basics of what it is. And Baby in the Holy City by myself, by Paul Allen and Frederick. Put that there. Of course, we don't need to go there, so I'll just skip doing that for while we're doing all of this. Baby in the Holy City. A baby Pegasus from ancient Norway gets blown in a storm to ancient Palestine, only to end up in the middle of a war so old they forgot why they were fighting. Along with the help of 3 children, watch Baby grow into the hero she is. We just had a brownout. Watch Baby grow into the hero as she stops a battle which would have meant thousands of lives. Actually, I don't know what just happened to the house. There's a ghost here, so could have been anything. Okay, anyways, starting with the opening with a sea battle of 2 different Viking ships in the middle of a storm. They are hinged together with lines and hooks, with axes, swords, and spears attacking each other. Just as they're almost dead, their worst nightmares happen when the stormy night sky opens with brilliant light and a calm to the storm as the Valkyrie come down to claim the slain warriors. Later, back at the Valhalla, the Valkyrie put their Pegasi back onto the stables, and we meet Baby through her mother. Baby's destined warrior is on the sickbed dying of a fever, because each Pegasus gets their own warrior, and they get met up as children. And Baby gets confused when her destined warrior dies and she flies off in a panic during the stormy night. The hurricane blows her away from northern Europe into the Mediterranean Sea, and she flies looking for land and lands in Palestine, in the backyard of a young lady who nurses Baby back to health. She and her mother does this in secret for her dad, the Christian general who now holds Jerusalem for the king of Palestine. The Christian army possesses the city, and we meet the head bishop, the king, the general, and so forth. The bishop turns out to be corrupt and is inciting the war because he is skimming off the top of the church's monthly take and is also the main arms dealer for both sides. He wants the war to continue and wants the battles to happen. This is discovered by Baby, the young protagonist, and her 2 friends. The 3 young protagonists, 3 young female leads, which are young teenagers, probably, or maybe a preteen. I don't know what they're called now. teenette or something, like 11, 12 years old, maybe even 10. And so, the three young ladies, maybe 12, 11, are at a disadvantage because one is Jewish, one is Christian, and one is Muslim. They love each other and don't want to take sides. With Baby willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for peace, Vikings battling on two ships hooked together with their grappling hooks and poles, with a montage feel of a crazy battle scene. I don't even know what is going on here. Okay, so obviously what I've done is cut it and pasted, and it doesn't make much sense from there. Let me get a drink here. Diet Pepsi. It has to be Diet Pepsi. Okay, basically what happens is this. The Pegasi come home from their take of getting the slain Viking warriors and bringing them to Valhalla. And they go to their little barn, I guess, for lack of a better word. And Baby, who was just born not too long ago, is inside the barn, wondering why she hasn't been met up with her warrior, her female warrior, her Valkyrie, and why that hasn't happened yet. And because it's happened to the other young Pegasi at this time. So she's wondering why, and so as it turns out that night, and the storm is massive, and it's just going, and the winds are raging, and the rain is coming down really hard, and there's thunder and lightning, and her Valkyrie princess or whoever dies from a fever of some sort. We don't really know how, we just know that she dies. And so Baby is freaked out, and she thinks that she doesn't have a place in the world, and she thinks that no one wants her around because of what some of the other baby Pegasi say. And of course, her peers are all rotten and terrible, like most peers are. And so Baby takes off, and she's chased, and they go after her, and they search through the mountains, and they search through all of Valhalla, and they search down in the pastures and the prairies, and they can't find her anywhere. And the next morning, her mother is feeling desperate and sad and heavy laden because Baby is gone. Meanwhile, Baby has been hurt by the storm and is over the Mediterranean, is looking for a place to land, and out of exhaustion she lands in the backyard of this little girl. That's the introduction, and then it's time for the story to happen. And basically the girls who are disobeying their parents take Baby out to try to teach her to fly, because she didn't want to fly because she's been wounded, and they're trying to see if she's healed yet. And while they're out in the desert trying to do this, they overhear some men talking, and it's the bishop. And the bishop is setting up these arms deals with two different parties. One party for the Arabs slash Islamic military, and I guess we should say Islamic because that's I don't know what this is about here. Okay, go away. And then the Christian army, and he's selling weapons to both of them, and he talks about how this war has to continue in order for him to retire somewhere desirable, and be filthy stinking rich. And then they're discovered. They make a noise or something, and they're discovered, and they're being tied up, of course, and they're in danger, and the thieves, are the villains, are bearing their daggers and their knives, threatening them. Baby, who still at this point can't quite fly, glides down up off the hill. She disappeared. They had her run and jump off a mountain, and she went down into the valley, and then they couldn't find her. So they didn't know if she just landed down there or if she was hurt, and so they were panicking, and that's how they get caught. Meanwhile, Baby comes down off the above like a mountainside and glides down with her wings spread out completely, and she kind of bounces off the heads of all the people who are threatening the three girls and starts to untie them, and they untie each other. Baby puts all three of them on her back and rides home very quickly. So before morning, so they all can't get caught. Now, of course, the girls can't let anybody know that they have this information because they disobeyed, and they were given a warning to not disobey, and that they can't be friends with each other, and so on and so forth. And none of the adults, other than the main protagonist's mother, knows about Baby. So it just goes to say from there. Let me try to regather here. Okay, so continuing on. The girls are found the next night and are kidnapped and are ransomed because the bishop wants to make money off of them. He's very greedy, and money is his main motivator. And I think that there are warmongers back then, and I think there are warmongers now, and I think that happens, and it's real, and it's an important topic right now, as is peace in the Middle East, as is Christian, Jew, Hebrew, Islam relations, which is what this movie is talking about. I think it's a timeless topic. Anyways, Baby, of course, as the battle's about to start between the two sides, and the sky is getting dark, and it seems as though God has not answered the prayers of the young girls. They're kidnapped. Baby has to go free them, and of course she does it by flying for the first time since she got hurt and landed there, and she defeats the bishop, grabs the girls. They fly down into the battlefield right between the two armies as they approach each other, and they slow down and they try to stop the battle, and then the armies continue towards each other, even though the three girls who are loving each other and love Baby and the wings, and they think it's an angel and so on and so forth, it's still not enough. The hatred is intense. The tension has been building up for weeks and weeks, and they just go for it. And as they start to fight each other, the storm, again another storm, it has to be the storm because we have to be consistent, stops, and an incredibly bright light shines down on top of Baby and the girls, and the girls have been wounded, and Baby's trying to protect them with her body. Baby is prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice of dying for the girls, who one a Jew, one a Christian, one a Muslim. And then down from the sky comes a series of what looks like are angels and wings and floating down, and it's heavenly, and it's incredible, and it's beautiful, and it's otherworldly, and it transcends the understanding of everybody there. And we find out that it is the Valkyrie, who are here to claim some of the bodies of the attack, but more so, they are there to find Baby. And they find Baby, and as it turns out, the queen of the Valkyrie, her steed has died of old age. And so Baby is now going to be chosen to be the steed, the Pegasus steed for the Queen of the Valkyrie, which is like totally a transcendence for her, for Baby, and although Baby loves the girls, and we're kind of thinking that the Christian girl is going to be the one that Baby chooses as her warrior, because the Christian girl is kind of tomboyish, and she carries a wooden sword with her everywhere she goes, and kind of pretends swords fight in the air and stuff like that, and of course that girl, her transcendence is that she realizes that war is horrible, and she throws away her wooden sword and decides that she hates war and that she loves peace, and that she's going to emulate Baby, who brought peace to this, and the Valkyrie who brought peace to this battle, because the battle stops, and so everybody's watching as the talks go on. The Valkyrie Queen totally rebukes the tar out of all the Palestinian men, and says, "You men, you are always doing the same over and over again," so on and so forth. And so Baby goes with them, and she goes up into heaven and up into the light, and then the sky closes up in the clouds. The three leaders, the Jewish leader, the Christian leader, and the Muslim leader, all embrace their daughters, and we're worried about them, and then they come to a peace arrangement. And it's temporary, of course, because eventually we know that Jerusalem's taken back by the Muslims. So, but anyways, so there's peace, and that's kind of the gist of the movie. I think it's a great film. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot to it. I have a lot more notes as far as a lot of details and some dialogue and those kinds of things, and I think it's really incredible. So that is Baby in the Holy City. And okay, so now I'm going to end this one, and then I'm going to continue for Battle Kings. I'm going to explain both Battle Kings Monster and Battle Kings Movie Stars. Because basically I don't want these to last too long, or else they'd take forever to download.